Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams,
where we scream so you don't scream.
We're your host, Alex.
And Stephanie.
And this week, we're kidnapped by the grabber in The Black Phone.
Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and click the bell to be notified when we post new episodes.
The Black Phone is a 2021 American supernatural horror film directed by Scott Derrickson. The Black Phone is an adaptation of Joe Hill's short story of the same name. When Finney encounters a mystical black rotary phone in captivity, he uses it to plot his escape by communicating with the ghosts of the grabber's slain victims. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has 81% with the critical consensus that states, "The Black Phone might have been more frightening, but it remains an entertaining, well-acted adaptation of scarily good source material." It has an 88% audience score with a consensus that states, "With a terrific villain and a twisty story stacked with edge-of-your-seat thrills, The Black Phone is a must-watch for fans of suspenseful horror."
In 1978, a local serial child abductor and murderer known only as the Grabber prowls the streets of a suburb in North Denver, Colorado. Finney Blake and his younger sister Gwen live in the area with their abusive alcoholic father, Terrence, whose wife died by suicide after experiencing disturbing psychic dreams. Finney often faces bullying at school, but his friend Robin stands up for him. Robin, kicks the shit out of people.
Yeah, Robin, let's go.
For sure.
I'm a fan of Robin, and I'm also a fan of Gwenny.
Yes, Gwenny is
She's
the star
best
of the show. I love her.
I will say, sometimes some of the dialogue feels a little out of place. Like, would a kid really be like that?
Fucking
But
really,
also,
Jesus? What did she say?
or she calls the detectives, this is later in the plot, but she's like, fart knockers,
Yeah.
fucking idiots. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But she is the star of the show, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, she's great. She gives me Abigail Breslin vibes, when she was a kid back in the day.
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
Mm-hmm. Gwen, having inherited her mother's psychic abilities, dreams of the Grabber abducting Bruce, a boy Finney knew from Little League. Police detectives Wright and Miller interview Gwen at the school as they suspect she may have insights about the Grabber. She told another girl at school, I think it's Bruce's sister, or one of the kidnapped boy's sisters, that she had a dream about him or something like that. I don't know. They immediately went to the police and they were like, Gwen knows stuff.
Well, yeah, because she mentions there being a black balloon, and that was a detail they never released out to the public. So they're like, how do you know? You're the Grabber.
She's like, so I'm the Grabber?
You idiots. You stupid assholes. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. She's like, I've seen Bruce fight or whatever. And he could take both of you dumb assholes or whatever. However, when Terrence learns about the questioning, he reacts violently as he doesn't want her to end up like her mother. It's very corporal punishment, just beating her with a belt. I'm like, wow, this is a lot for, a little girl.
Yeah, for sure. And the acting is really good. She does a great job.
Yeah. The dad is terrifying too. You can tell Gwen is probably at that age where she wouldn't be calling her dad daddy and stuff like that, but you can tell she kind of tries to make herself small. And whenever she interacts with him, sorry daddy, or whenever she thinks that she'll irritate him.
Yeah, just overly nice, overly pleasant as to not set him off. Because any little thing will definitely set this guy off for sure.
And she routinely stays away on Friday nights from the house. She's like, I'm sleeping over at so-and-so's because it's Friday. And they both have this knowing oh yeah, Friday's the worst kind of thing. And I guess that's probably when he gets the drunkest because, he's got the whole weekend to kill.
Yeah, seriously.
Shortly after the Grabber abducts Robin, Finney is attacked by his bullies at school, and Gwen tells him she believes the boys taken are dead. A week or so later, Finney is approached by a man in a black van with black balloons, claiming to be a magician, and is abducted.
Bro, come on. If you know,
everyone in the neighborhood knows about these kids being abducted. There's signs everywhere, So why would you help a strange man in a van?
So the van, first of all, any kind of van like that, don't even look at it. And again, with these kids, frequently they're being abducted. This is happening a lot. I don't care if you're trying to be nice. Do not talk to anyone, do not help anyone. And immediately he's like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll help you. And he's like, I'm a magician, want to see? And Finney's like, hell yeah.
No, not yet.
No.
And we kind of get like these flashbacks too, as like the other kids have gotten abducted. A lot of them walk right towards the van. And like, even when they're several feet away, I'm like, this is a red flag. Go in the opposite direction. Like,
these children love magicians.
yeah.
And it's in the broad daylight. Like when Finney gets abducted, it's like on the street.
Like on the way home from school. Yeah.
Like no one saw that. Not a single person.
Nah.
Like, and there was a struggle.
There's a struggle. Like because he does, like he carries like this little rocket ship thing. Like I guess it's like a good luck charm or something. But the top is pointy, and he like scratches his arm. I think he uses helium or something. Not helium. I don't know.
Finney's thinking nothing. He's like,
it might be chloroform, I'm guessing. I don't know, but yeah, something to knock him out. So there is definitely a struggle on the street, that a relatively busy street, I would say, but Finney just happened to be like the last kid walking home from school, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's by houses. Like someone had to have seen this, but I guess not. So
Nah.
It's very easy to abduct people in this town.
Apparently. Finney wakes up in a soundproof basement with a disconnected black rotary dial telephone on one wall. The phone rings on its own, and when Finney answers, he initially hears only static, but then recognizes Bruce's voice. Bruce informs him about a removable floor tile that could help him dig an escape tunnel. Finney begins to dig, but the house's deep foundation thwart his efforts.
This is so cool. I want to say the whole concept of this movie I love.
Yes. Yeah. I love the law and orderiness about it. I was really worried for this kid. This isn't my first time seeing it, so I knew what to expect. But the first time I was so worried about, like, I watch a lot of crime shows, but obviously when you watch crime shows, you spend more time with the people trying to solve it, not with the victim. So I was really expecting this kid to be like tortured and maybe like assaulted in the worst ways.
Right.
And I was like, I'm glad that we're steering clear of that for the most part. And it's kind of only just suggested when anything happens from like the previous victims.
Yeah, you kind of hear just like little snippets of from these phone calls.
Yeah.
Like there's never anything outright said except, well, we'll talk about it later, but
Yeah.
nothing like graphic in the sense of, exactly what happened to these boys.
Yes.
But the idea that he's getting help from the past victims, I love that idea.
Yes, I do too. And it's also crazy. Like they at one point said, like, we never heard the phone when we were here, but you can hear us. So we're going to be talking to you, obviously. But the grabber hears the phone too. And I was like, that's really interesting because, it's the guilt of the past victims, obviously. During one of the grabber's visits, Finney discovers the basement door is unlocked. Just as he prepares to sneak out, he receives a call from Billy, another past victim who warns him that the grabber is waiting at the top of the stairs to punish him if he tries to leave. Billy advises Finney to use a hidden cable to climb to the basement window, but his weight causes the grate covering the pane to fall, eliminating that escape route.
That part where the doors open and it's like a test.
Yes.
I hate that. And he's like the grabber sitting shirtless in his kitchen where the door leads, just waiting with a belt. I think he's holding a belt. Just like waiting to beat him if he dares. And that's so psychotic. Like you're willing to risk that.
Yeah.
Just to see, like, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
He's looking for a reason to punish him, which is, I guess, in the way, that's like the only thing that keeps him safe is since these boys are calling him, he doesn't do what he would do instinctually because they all went off their instincts and they tell him what they did instinctually. Right.
It seems like the grabber won't hurt you unless you do something wrong.
You have a reason to, yeah.
So he's like setting these traps for him to misbehave, basically, and it's just that thought is naughty boy. Is that what they call it? Like naughty.
And these masks are very unsettling. He switches them out throughout the whole time. Like one of them has like a sad face, one of them has like this evil grin, another one's like kind of laughing, and hate it.
Yeah, it's like modular, so you could like wear just the top if you want and expose your mouth.
Yeah.
Or the opposite. So he's like switching them out.
Which is
And
crazy because he kind of already met him face to face when he first saw him. I mean, we never saw his face, but I mean, technically, Finney did.
yeah, unless he was like shrouding his face.
Maybe.
Maybe he had a different kind of like his coat was covered or something. Like maybe he tried to
Yeah.
hide it as best he could.
While Gwen confides in Terrence about her dreams concerning Finney's abduction, detectives Wright and Miller question an eccentric man named Max, who is staying nearby with his brother and seems overly interested in the grabber's crimes. It is revealed that Finney is held in Max's basement, and the grabber is actually his brother. This guy.
This is one I don't guess I could call it a gripe with the movie. He seems so out of tone with the movie. Like he just does
Silly.
coke. Yeah, he just does coke, and he's just so interested in the grabber. And there's like, why?
And
Like,
he's literally right beneath him. And it's just so crazy that, I don't know, like he is like that good at evading his brother the whole time that practically, I don't know how long Finney stays with him. It might be almost a week, I'm guessing, but maybe even longer. We don't really know time wise. But to have someone captured in your home that you're feeding and, you know, keeping a secret, and plus you still go to work and everything too. Like he could just be roaming about your house, finding this kid anytime.
he could exactly. So that's why I feel like that character could have been cut, or they could have just like, instead of the detectives finding his brother, he just finds the grabber. Like he didn't need to exist, I feel.
Yeah.
Nothing comes of it, in my opinion. We'll talk about it later. So yeah, this character is probably a lower point of the movie for me, but
Yeah.
in any case, we got
think
Max.
he's just kind of comic relief because like he's coked out of his mind. So obviously the detectives aren't like really taking him seriously. Like he doesn't even think to cover up the coke when they come in to question him. So yeah, I don't know. It is a weak point. It feels weird. Like I think it's the difference between Gwen being very funny in the situation that she's in and this Max character is just like a weird comic relief that doesn't need to be there.
Right. Yeah. I'm just like, what are we doing? He adds nothing to the story, in my opinion. But
yeah. And it almost feels like he's gone just as much. I don't know. It just, I don't understand this house. I have no understanding of how this house guest brother situation works. It feels like he's only there when you need him to be, like for the plot. But Finney receives a call from Griffin, a third victim who shares the combination to the front door lock and informs him that the grabber has fallen asleep. Finney manages to unlock the door, but the grabber's dog Samson barks and wakes him, allowing him enough time to chase Finney down and recapture him. This one, like, I remember, like, this had my heart beating. Like, when I watched it in theaters, I was like, is it gonna be enough time?
Yeah. Oh, you saw this in theaters?
Oh yeah. It was crazy tense when I saw it in theaters.
I didn't even see it in theaters. That's crazy. Did you want to go? Now I'm curious about your past with this movie. Did you want to go see it? Or?
Oh yeah, I was super interested in it.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Look at you. I wanted to see it in theaters. I just never actually made it to see it, so I watched it at home. But yeah, this part is so like I knew what was going to happen, and I was still like holding my breath.
Right.
I was like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? I don't know.
It's so tense. And then technically, like a lot of the time when you think about people that make it out of these situations, like once you're out of like the proximity of like where they've been keeping you, you're like home free essentially. Like you are out. So like you can like stop someone on the street, you can run to someone's house. To get recaptured, statistically very low, I think. But
that was so frustrating because I was like, he turns down and is like, I'm gonna run down the sidewalk. Like he could have like booked it to the right.
And just hit the neighbors or hit in the yard or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very, very frustrating that gets recaptured because you're like, he was
the grabber
out.
even has time to get in his van and chase him down too, which is crazy in a sense. Like,
which that actually doesn't make sense because like the grabber's like, you know, in his chair in the kitchen, which is right behind the door, obviously. Right. So you see the grabber, it takes him a minute to like come to. So you're telling me it took Finney that long to run from the front door to the sidewalk, and the grabber had enough time to get his keys, go through the back, get into the truck, and like the timing doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just You don't know what you do in those situations. Like maybe when you're so panicked, like who knows how heavy your feet feel and stuff like that. Like
But he's just not moving. He's just circling
well,
in
no,
the
I mean
front
like the
yard.
fight and flight response or
Yeah.
something like that too. Like or the freeze. Like you might be compelled to move, but maybe your body is just not doing it for you because
Yeah. It
you're
just,
so terrified.
yeah, the timing just fell off. I'm like, there's no way he got into his van and drove there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But in any case, Finney's recaptured. So that's just like so devastating.
Yes.
It's like, God damn it.
And then plus it means like he is naughty. Like he is a
Oh,
naughty
yeah.
boy.
You
And
gave him a reason.
yeah, you gave him a reason to beat you or something.
Mm-hmm.
So Vance, a fourth victim who is a juvenile delinquent, calls to advise Finney on breaking through a wall to reach a freezer in the next room. Finney does as instructed, but discovers the freezer door is locked. As despair sets in, he receives one last call from Robin, who encourages him to fight back by packing the phone receiver with dirt to use as a weapon. I'm like, way to go, Robin. You're great.
That scene where they're like practicing, and because like,
You step back, you raise
yeah,
the phone.
at first when these phone calls are happening, you don't necessarily see the boys, but now you're starting to see them like appear in their room. He's telling him what to do with the phone, like step back, swing, and then you see them both doing it. And that scene, I love that, the choreography of that, where they're both doing it together.
Yeah. Vance, I feel like, is the victim I have the most questions about.
Was he the mean bully one who got in a fight with
At the store and got taken away by the cops. So yeah, like we see a little cutaway. They do like a little bit of background on each of them, sort of giving you like Bruce, I think since Finney like knew him, they showed like him from like a baby to he gets snatched.
Yeah.
Then the second kid is like a newspaper kid, and you show him on his route with his dog, and then he gets snatched. And then Griffin, not sure. He's like, I call him Giggles because he's like weirdly ominous. He's like, you're running out of time. Ha 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 ha. Like, what?
what?
Aren't you supposed to be helping? You don't have much time. Ha 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 ha. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then Vance is like today's the day, motherfucker. Like, just every 2 seconds. They show a flashback, and we realize that Gwen is also seeing this like in a dream of him getting into a fight in this little convenience store over like a pinball game of some sort, and taken away by the police because he beats this guy. The car drives up to the house of the grabber, and he just like kicks the gate in. And I know part of it is symbolism to show that Gwen, now knows what the house looks like. But also, I feel like since all the other visions of the kids ended with them getting grabbed, like, why aren't we seeing that of him? And he seems to be the biggest kid. Like, like he seems to be more like 16 and everybody else seems to be about like 10, 12.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got questions about this kid. Like how, like he doesn't seem like his typical MO. And yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got him because he seems very aggressive.
Yeah, right. I feel like as far as your comment about the dream, I feel like when you're watching it, it starts off as backstory and it kind of melds into Gwenny's dream. So like once they're in the car, like that's the dream. So it's not necessarily what exactly happened. So like once she got the like address and saw the house, she woke up kind of a thing. And then, yeah, it is kind of weird. He is a bigger, older kid. So I don't know if he just has like an age range.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is not the oldest I would go for kind of a thing. So yeah, I don't know how he managed to trick him because he doesn't seem like the type who'd be like, ooh, a magician.
Right.
So, unless he outright attacked him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's like some subtle differences here too, and in personality, since like this kid is, willing to go to jail over losing a game. Like some of the kids could be depicted as like tough, like Bruce and Robin, but like they can hold their own. But this kid is like seeking out fights, seeking out violence, and I just don't feel like that would be a very suitable victim for someone like the grabber.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's kind of an outlier out of the kids. But it is interesting to see the variety, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like he's just like anyone who's available.
I guess so. Yeah. And then we do have the implication, like he said he took his time with me and stuff like that. So like we know that, yeah, there's some implication of maybe even sexual violence or at least like torture, prolonged torture.
Yeah.
After having a vision of the grabber's house, Gwen contacts Wright and Miller to provide the address. The police rush to the location and discover the bodies of the grabber's victim buried in the basement. This is crazy, too, because Gwen has to ride her bike to just see the house and know that the house exists. She gets stopped by the ghost. The ghost, like, frightened her, and she gets, like, thrown from her bike. And then she has to get up and, like, go back to her house to call the police. I'm like, girl, like, you really could use a cell phone right now.
I know,
or just
right?
like, I don't know, maybe you should have carry the card on you and just hope that you could call from a neighbor's house or something. I guess, like, who wants to take that risk? But still.
Yeah. Hey, you could be the grabber, but, well, honestly, though, at that point, she knows that what the house is, so.
Yeah. But
I feel like the risk is
there
minimal.
are two houses, technically, so she would have gone across
she wouldn't
the
have
street.
known that.
Yeah.
That is true. Oh, my God.
Right. Could you imagine?
Yeah, I need to call. I think I have some information on the grabber.
I'm gonna need
And he's
to.
like,
oh, you can come right in.
but also, if Max answered the door,
Oh, that's true.
he would have been like, hell yeah, come on in. Tell me
Yeah,
all
you want to hear
about
my
it.
theories? Like,
Want to do some coke?
so the police rush to the location and discover the bodies of the grabber's victims buried in the basement. So like completely empty house. And they're like, I don't think this is the right place. But then they realize there's a basement and they have a bunch of shallow graves down there. Meanwhile, Max realizes Finney is trapped below and rushes to free him, but is killed by the grabber with an axe. Yeah, that was something, because we never saw the grabber get completely violent with any of the kids. We just kind of see the aftermath of how the ghosts look, so we can kind of fill in the blanks. Like, he maybe roughs Finney up a little bit, like pushing him back into the cell and everything and grabbing him, but not really like with an axe kind of violence. So like when he kills him, especially his own brother, like it's wow.
It's wow.
It is wow.
It's a little bit a lot.
Yeah, it's a little bit a lot. Finney, determined to escape, uses the remnants of his previous attempts to trap the grabber in a pit he has dug. He fights back, beating him with the phone receiver and breaking his neck with the phone cord, while the spirits of his past victims taunt the grabber.
This part is so cool because each of the ghosts say a phrase, like at the end, like, you don't have much time left. This is the day, motherfucker. And they play those lines back to back, but applying it
Now to the grabber.
Welcome to the nightmare end of your pathetic little life. You don't have much time. Today's the day, motherfucker. I can't kill you, hijo de puta. So Finn is gonna do it for me. Finn's arm is mint.
That is amazing, in my
Yes.
opinion. I
Yes.
love that because, like, the whole time it's like they're talking to Finn, but now all those lines make sense
And apply to him.
to him. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Kill him.
Yes.
Let's go.
And every little piece that helped him along the way to try to escape is now going to like combine to kill the grabber. Like he got all the Infinity Stones for this.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It comes together very nicely, I think.
Yes. Finney throws a steak from the freezer to his dog Samson to distract him and escape the house, which is revealed to be directly across the street from where the police are conducting their raid. Gwen sees Finney emerge and rushes to embrace him. Terrence, overcome with emotion, begs for forgiveness from both Finney and Gwen for his past behavior. Later, now seen as a hero at school, a more confident Finney sits next to his crush in class and tells her to call him Finn.
He's growing up. Look at him
Yeah.
go.
He's got like a little deeper voice from it too. He's like, yeah, call me Finn.
I'm Finn.
I killed a guy.
Call me Finn. I killed the grabber.
I thought it was interesting too. Like, the dad is kind of slowly making a redemption arc through this. I mean, obviously he is still not great because alcoholic, abusive, all that stuff. But like, he does finally believe Gwen when she tells him she sees Finney, and is helping the police now to, you know, find the address and everything. But it is crazy though that he like begs for forgiveness basically on his knees, and both of them are like, I don't see you there. Like,
Yeah, like, not me. Who are you forgive or asking for forgiveness from?
Yeah.
Me? Finney? I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Well, they had a tough time with him.
Oh my God, yeah. But at least he does at least halfway through the movie or so, actually help Gwen try to find the
Like,
house.
come
They're like
around.
driving through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready to talk about our scary scenes and what you thought?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Stephanie, knowing you had seen this multiple times,
Oh, this is the second time, not multiple.
Oh, well, 2 is multiple.
I guess.
Okay, so do you like it?
I do. Do you like it?
I really do, yeah. This
Okay.
is a really good movie. It has its issues, especially kind of mentioned already with Max and some of the tone. Like, there's some, like, comedy elements that are thrown in there that seem a little off, like, especially with Gwenny has some comedic moments and then Max. And then Gwenny, while, like, my favorite character, she has, like, funny moments and then it goes to being like very serious with her dreams. She says something funny, which doesn't seem completely out of the realm of possibility, but I feel like we could have removed some of those to make the movie a little bit more dramatic in my opinion. But
I would say I think I like her comedic moments. I agree with you on the Max stuff that he's really kind of pointless, and he doesn't really do anything for the story to further it along. He's just kind of like another possibility for Finney to escape, and then it's just pulled right out from under him like with nothing. So yeah, I think he's pointless, but I think Gwen. I think Gwen.
well, they
is,
call her Gwenny.
yeah,
Don't they?
yes, Gwenny and Finney. But yes, I think Gwen is very funny, and you know, it is. I think it's funny in the way of like she's trying to tell herself like these are just dreams, so then like she can please her father and not be like her mom and stuff like that. But then when she like embraces it, she's like, okay, but what the fuck? like
Yeah.
why am I not getting all the answers right now?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's bad. I think, for example, you mentioned it too in the plot where she's like praying every once in a while, and then the one time she's like, "What the hell? Like, what was going on?" And it's funny, but I feel like that scene could have maybe used a more serious tone just to get the desperation across. I mean, it's not bad as is, but I feel like some of the scenes with her could have been a little bit more serious. So I don't know. Max could have just been gone, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But overall, I love the concept. I like how they executed, because it's interesting because the ghosts start not like remembering who they are, but they're still very childlike. Like Finney's trying to get, I think it's with Griffin. Griffin's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm trying to help you, and
Yeah,
then
that's
Finney's like
Giggles.
getting, yeah, he's getting like, and Finney's getting frustrated with him. Like they're having a actual conversation.
Like, yeah, do you even remember who you are and that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, because Griffin he's the one who writes the combination. And he's like, okay, but is it like 22 or is it 223? Like because it's all in a string. And Griffin's like, dude, I don't know, man. I was just writing it
gonna
down to try to
'em out.
remember. Yeah. So I liked the characterization of the ghosts and
Yes.
how they kind of dealt with them. They're all very distinct, and they all help with the overall process. And like I said, I like how it comes together at the end.
Yes. And it's interesting too how all of them are dealing with like being dead in a way. Like the one kid, Billy. Yeah. So this kid, Billy, that was the newspaper boy, he was like, I don't know Billy. Like, I deliver papers. And they're like, oh,
Paper
okay,
boy. Yeah,
Paper
they call-
boy, I guess. And he's like, yeah.
Ah, paper boy.
Paper boy, that's what I know.
Realistically, he remembered he was Billy, but he just hated his name and just wanted to be called Paper Boy.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so it's interesting to see how all of them are dealing with grief in a way and like what kind of background it is too. Like I think when Finney's trying to jog Bruce's memory, because Bruce doesn't remember immediately who he is, he's like, you played baseball. And he's like, oh, well, we don't play baseball here.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me too. I'm like, are they in some sort of like limbo or heaven, hell? Like,
Well, I don't know. They're like there kind of, because
oh, more like
Robin
haunting
says-
it. Yeah.
yeah, because he's like, I've been here this whole time with you. Like
Yeah.
when he finally gets to call with him. So they're like, I don't know if they're kind of trapped in the home, like kind of like a haunting, right? They can't pass over.
I'm thinking it must be that.
I think that's what it is, and that's why they also, I mean, obviously they don't want any other person to die, but I
Right.
think also maybe once they the grabber's killed, they could pass on.
Yeah. Kind of like a darker version of Coraline. I mean, Coraline already has dark moments, but like when she sees the kids in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah. They don't
yeah.
remember their names and everything. Yeah.
How do you feel about the phone itself? Like, there's no explanation about it, why Finney could hear it and the grabber could hear it, but they don't hear it. Does that bother you that they don't really explain it?
I assume it's more of like a suppressed psychic intuition sort of thing like Gwen has, except, like he's not getting dreams, he's getting these calls because something with the mom, I'm guessing. I don't always love that idea. Like, I do like the ghost aspect, but I don't like it coming down to like Gwen is a psychic. And I don't know. I wish there was like a little bit more realism there for that kind of explanation, but I think it's nicely done the way that they do it. And every time I watch the ending, I'm like, so Gwen's going to be hired on as a child detective now, right? Like,
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's her. She is, you know what she is? She is the main character from Longlegs.
she's the It Follows girl.
Yeah.
Oh, well, damn. This girl has grown so quickly in like the last 10 years. Like, man, I know children age, but like, what? I don't know. I swear, like, I've seen pictures of Finney, and he does not look much older than he is in this movie.
No, that's not actually her.
Oh.
I was making a joke of the character.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was going on a whole spiel thinking that was the same actress. Damn, I was like...
No. I was just saying the character.
Because I was like, how does that work? How does time work? Like, I was having an existential crisis over that.
You looked so confused. I'm pretty sure It Follows came out before Black Phone.
I was very confused on what happened.
I'm like, she's really committed to the bit right now.
No, I was really convinced that the actress was the same girl. I was like, oh no.
No, I was just making the joke. For those of you who have never seen Longlegs, the main character is a female detective who could has visions and stuff and could intuitively know
with
things.
The killer, yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's just Gwenny. She just changed her name.
Okay, yeah. No, I was completely thinking time is a construct and like, wow, how quickly I have aged.
No. So what are some of the scariest scenes for you in this movie?
Oh, definitely the jump scare with the ghosts floating and stuff like that, and some of the ghost scenes, like where you don't see their faces, but you can kind of see the sides of them, and they're kind of mangled or bloody in a way. That's super upsetting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're gonna be friends, why you gotta be all creepy?
Hey, you know what? But he doesn't see them though, so
I guess that's true.
just for the audience's perspective.
But the one though that's floating, he's floating upside down, and
he does see him.
And he points at the phone, and he goes to the phone after that.
That's right. Well, okay, so he sees some of them sometimes, which is kind of weird because he doesn't see Robin. He doesn't see that because one of them, I forget which one, Vance, whatever his name is,
Vance,
is sitting on the bed with him, and he doesn't notice him.
Yeah.
So I guess Finney sometimes sees them, not all the time, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, those are definitely the scariest. And obviously, more or less the mental work that your mind is doing throughout the movie of what is possibly going to happen if Finney gets in trouble with the grabber.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I put Finney escaping the first time is so stressful. Like I said, I've seen this before and I was still holding my breath that moment. And I don't think the ghosts are necessarily scary. I think the grabber is scarier than the ghost. Ethan Hawke does an amazing job at being the creepiest dude.
The presence, yes.
And his demeanor is so weird because he has, first of all, he has this weird demon mask on. And then he has a childlike way of speaking sometimes. He's trying to be a buddy, but then he gets pissed and he's very scary.
Yeah.
And especially when you see him just sitting in his chair and just the thought of what would happen is absolutely terrifying.
Yes. And the couple of times where he sneaks up on Finney, where Finney wakes up and he's oh shit, like just sitting in the room or something like
Staring
that. And
at
then
him?
Finney's, and then the grabber's just like, oh shit, what? Like, what do you mean? You were in here like the whole time? Like, yeah, just watching you sleep.
Yeah, because there's that scene where he's like, why were you here? He's like, just wanted to watch you. And I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
ugh.
Honestly, I think that would have me paralyzed in that situation, especially like trying to escape that at any moment he could just walk in and be like, just thought I'd look at you. Like, huh?
What? Yeah, come again? Yeah, the grabber is a very well done villain. Like, he's very, very scary to me.
Also, like him killing the brother, like I know we said that the brother is like inconsequential, but just like he's standing there, you think maybe he'll let Finney go for like half of a second and then just like taken out with the axe so quickly. Like,
And it's like, oh, son of a bitch. Like, yeah, and the fact he was just willing to kill his brother, no remorse, just like,
right. And how
okay.
open he is to blaming Finney for all of his problems. He was like, my brother was an idiot, but he was my idiot. You made me kill him. Like, no?
No, I didn't.
You
come
still have
down.
the axe in your hand. Like,
Right,
I
like-
didn't call him or anything. Like,
Yeah, Max came down on his own volition. Like, I didn't do nothing.
yeah.
So Grabber don't care, I guess.
Nah. But
Good
I do
time.
love how law and ordery it is too. Like I didn't need it to be like torture porn. I was gonna be very upset if we were gonna spend a lot of time with that,
Yeah,
especially because
I mean,
it's a kid.
Kid, yeah, I was gonna say, especially with a kid. Like, Saw, fine, you're an adult, you probably
Yeah.
deserve it. A kid, no.
No.
Like, no. But you and your crime, anything with crime and detectives, we know it's gonna be a good time for Stephanie.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
You liked it.
Honestly, I'd like to see a spin-off with Gwen. Gwen being like a little detective telling the future and all that stuff.
Gwen, child detective.
What the fuck, Jesus? But I did see, though, when I was looking up the notes for this, like just to get all my facts straight, that there's going to be a second one. And I'm like, what are they going to do with that?
Allegedly this year, so.
Yeah, and I'm very
shall see.
curious where it's going to go. If it's going to be
Prequel?
or like he's back as like a ghost, maybe.
I really hope not. That'd be so bad. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Guys, don't do that.
No, don't
Do
it.
prequel or different killer with the same phone situation. That's fine.
Yeah, someone suggested online it could be like a copycat kind of thing. Or,
That'd be cool. I'd be down with that. Just don't make him a ghost. Like, don't do that.
right.
Or though, I will say, not to talk about like coming up with sequels, if there is a copycat killer, that would be cool if the original grabber comes through and like guides the new one.
Yes.
That'd be kind of cool. I would be down with that.
Yes, and then like the copycat's victims are talking to whoever's captive, but then the grabber is like
Calling
through
everyone.
it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting.
We got it. Hollywood. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
just give us a call whenever
We're
you're
here.
ready. We're here.
Always. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful, and we will always appreciate that. If you are watching the YouTube version, you can like and comment on this video and let us know what you would like us to watch next.
You can find us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.